Hello everyone, this is Tricia from Planet Ninkol. I am here to do a weekly reflection, and I thought I would combine it with the SBD tag that's going around because I am going to talk about temperance today and how I have felt that play out in my personal life. I already made this video once, and I have to say that this is the first time I was like, I need to redo this. I seemed like a person that had caffeine and sugar, and I was a little spacey, and so I'm just gonna do it again and hopefully be more focused and hopefully say a few less times. So here it is. Yeah, so Temperance has been a card that I understand the meanings of moderation, balance. But that was kind of, that's kind of what I understood about it. But there's this other aspect of it, the alchemy, the alchemical processes, that has sort of been like just a little too far away from me in my own personal experience and my personal life. I thought. So I wasn't really connecting with the card in a strong kind of way. And recently I had an experience that has changed that for me. First of all, the Temperance card is my astrological birth card. I'm Sagittarius. And I love the angel. I love angels. So I'm not bothered by the angels on Temperance cards. So I took a trip recently and I visited family, and I just had a really intense experience while I was there. I was sort of in a situation where I was revisiting the past, but I was not the same at all. It was an experience of, I'm going to show a world card, even though this is about temperance. This is from the Fae Tarot. It was an experience like this, where I was like up here and sort of looking at what was going on around me and sort of looking at everything and just feeling like, interesting. That was my life. That's where I came from. That's who I used to be. I used to respond this way, and now I respond this way. Now I'm this person in this situation instead of this person. It was a very interesting experience, and it definitely kind of hit me here that I was experiencing the Temperance card in terms of the alchemical process. I think that a lot of times with temperance, because it is a slow-moving energy, it's not like the Tower where it's fast, abrupt, and in your freaking face. It's the middle of the road. It's something that happens slowly. It's something that happens gradually. And I felt that. I felt that experience of, I have gone through a physical, mental, emotional, psychic alchemy, and I was able to see it, I was really able to see it in a way that I hadn't been able to see it. Like, I knew I was changing. I knew that a lot of changes had happened in my life, but it was just like, bam, holy crap, that happened. That happened. I'm a different person today. It was very neat, and it was a lot to take in. So that said, I'm going to just show some temperance cards now. There's different aspects of temperance that stand out to me in the different cards. So in terms of just balance, the balance of anything, really. Just balancing anything in your life. Keeping things in balance. This card from the Anarchy, I think, is a great one. I didn't think so at first. I thought there wasn't really anything special about it. However, after really sitting with it for a bit, I realized, no, this is pretty cool, actually. She's got these little bowls of water that she's balancing on her back there, and she's going to make this journey up the stairs. And I like that it's the stairs because she is making a journey. It's like a commitment to make a trip. It's like long-term vision. I'm going to get over there. And I'm going to have to balance these elements, these two sides of things, on my way to get there. And it's neat because if they're too full, it's going to be harder to carry. She's going to slosh water all over the place. Might slip. Might slip and trip on the water. Might hurt herself. If they're off balance, she might fall. She might trip and fall, hurt herself again. And if there's not enough water in them, then there's no point in the freaking trip up the stairs. So I like this card. This card actually gives me so much more than I originally thought that it did. But this is very much to me about balance and also the journey, the long-term goal, the long-term vision. I'm going to get over there, and how I get there is through balance and moderation. The other one that I really like is this balance card from the Wildwood Tarot. And what I love about this one is the birch tree. And I love birch trees. I grew up in Texas and I never saw birch trees until I moved to Michigan. And when I was 19, I lived in Michigan for quite a while. I squealed when I saw a birch tree. I was like, it's a white tree, what? It made me so happy, and every time I see a birch tree, I'm so happy. I just love them. And the thing with birch trees is that as they grow, they outgrow their bark. And so that's why their bark peels off. Not all trees do that. It's very specific to birches, and I believe sycamore trees actually. There might be other trees that do this, but not many. I don't know if it's many. I know the birch trees do it. So anyway, as they grow and develop, they shed this skin. So for me, it's a great tree to have on a temperance card because it's sort of, for me, it's that aspect of temperance where it's like integration and growth. And I feel like this is sort of something I experienced on my trip just recently, where I had outgrown my past. I didn't need to hold on to it anymore. And it's not that it wasn't important, and it's not that it's not still a part of me. It is. But I don't need to hold on to it. I can let the bark fall off. I can let the psychic energy that's holding me just drop off. So that's what I love about this card, is that the birch tree just really speaks to me. It's that expanding consciousness and growth and integrating past and present, letting the old drop off and letting the new come in. And you know, you needed this skin, this bark to grow to what you are now. But you don't need it anymore, and it can drop off. Anyway, love this card. The other card, well, the cards that I love also, I like the mixing of the elements. So I love this card from the Druid craft. This mixing of the elements. And this is from the Green Witch Tarot. They're similar in that way. They're cooking something up. Oops. Yeah. They're cooking something up in the kitchen here. And it ain't cookies. You know what I'm saying? It's something a little bigger than that, because this is not about baking cookies. Yeah, so I really enjoy the concept of this. However, this is kind of where I go into like, well, what does this mean on a physical level? What is an alchemical process? What does it mean physically? And then that brings me into thinking about medical stuff, actually, physical body stuff. I started thinking about medical miracles. People with HIV positive who don't test HIV positive anymore, or people with stage 4 lung cancer who no longer have a tumor, people with diabetes who just don't have diabetes anymore, or MS, or Parkinson's. And there are accounts of all these things. They don't make it into mainstream consciousness. Not really sure why. But that is definitely an aspect that I think of with the Temperance card. This like that physically we can really experience alchemy and magic in our physical bodies. And I'm not sure how that happens, but that's why it's magic. That's why it's alchemy. Not always easy to understand. And that again makes me think about how our cells regenerate, how we can have a new liver every, I don't know what it is, every couple of years or whatnot, or how our entire physical bodies are different after I think maybe 7 years. I didn't look this stuff up, so I'm not sure what the actual time period is, but every cell in our body regenerates and we're literally a different human being. After a certain amount of time, our physical bodies are not the same. I mean, it's incredible. So this is stuff I think about with, like, what is alchemy? Well, that's alchemy, and we're experiencing it as we live our lives in these physical bodies, and I find that really exciting, as you can tell. So let's see, the other one that I like is this Temperance card from the Everyday Witch Tarot, which I love. It's like an old friend, even though it's pretty new. I just love it. And this one also speaks to me about long-term vision. Working, setting goals, working for something, for long-term, that middle road, getting up every day, doing yoga, exercising, taking care of yourself so that you can do this pose and do it with expertise and skill and reap benefits from it. But you have to work for that, and you have to set goals and priorities in order to meet that long term. So yeah, and also obviously about balance. She's literally balancing on one foot. And there's a bunch of cupcakes over here and vegetables over here. So some, balance of nutrition, balance of work and play, all that sort of thing too. That's pretty neat. The Mary L. Temperance card is incredible. That mixing of the fire element and the water element. I mean, this can get a bit heady for me and a little difficult to bring down into the real world, except that studying astrology now, I have realized that I am Sagittarius Sun with Pisces rising. So I am sort of beginning to understand what that actually means to mix fire and water. It's me. It's confusing. It's also freaking wonderful. So, yeah, I love this. It's such a stunning card. I adore it. I don't have anything else to say about that one. What else? Oh, I've got to talk about 2 more cards here. So this Temperance card from the Stretch Tarot, first of all, those colors, oh my gosh, they're amazing. I just love it. It's aesthetically just so gorgeous to me. And I love how there's music in the background. Music is a universal language. It doesn't matter what language we actually speak. If we do music, we learn the same music, I think, right? Am I saying something stupid? But whether that's true or not, listening to music. We can all just listen to music and have this beautiful experience of alchemy. I mean, think about the different moods and the different places that different kinds of music can take you to. It can be really transformative, and that also makes me think about sound healing. And, you know, how magical is that? You do some bowls or some tuning forks, and people really do have healing experiences with these things, and I certainly have. Beautiful, beautiful way to heal. And I also love how she's coming out. To me, it looks like she's coming out of a selenite crystal, um, which is magical to me because I associate selenite with the angels and the higher realms and that really higher vibration type of energy. And then she's coming out into the physical realm with her physical body, which is also beautiful. I don't know. It could be a cocoon because there are these dragonfly wings here. But same concept, coming out, having an actual physical change, and then emerging as somebody new. And then this is probably one of my favorite Temperance cards, and this is from the Fae Tarot, and this is the one that I had with me while I was gone, and I thought about this one a lot on my trip. And I don't know if you can see, but she's coming out of the water. There's water like up to her waist, and she has some scales like about up to this area of her skin, and it's like she was a fish. And now she's emerging, and the scales might be dropping off. That's kind of how I see it a little bit. And she's been in deep reflection. I see this as an integration sort of card. Deep reflection about her life and what it has been and where she would like it to go, and about the vision and about the alchemy of what has been experienced and what she would like to experience now, and sort of moving forward with more wisdom and more focus. I mean, this woman is freaking fierce. She's awesome. And I love how the fish are floating around her head. It's like, even though she's emerging from the water, she's going to take that wisdom, she's going to take that sensitivity, she's going to bring these experiences with her from the past. She's not detaching from them completely. She's going to bring those with her with a different kind of relationship to them. They're no longer in the water now. They're out in the air. They're going to mix with the other elements. So a new wisdom that she brings with her as she emerges from the water. So yeah, for me, this one's really about integration. And this is the one that I really, really connected with while I was away, and how I saw that process had happened in my life, and how, you know, we don't always know that we're in the experience of alchemy, that we're in the experience of this temperance, because it's a slower process. And yeah, and I feel like I got that experience to really see that, and it was amazing and profound. And now I'm thinking, like, that is happening to me right now too. I'm in another phase of alchemy. I can't see it because it's kind of, it's a process that's a little more difficult to nail down. You know, this is harder to see. It's magical. It's magical. I think that's all I'm going to say. This is very different than my last video, by the way. Very. I said a lot less this time. All right. Yay. It's longer though. All right. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Oh, shit balls.